News, I'm Ben Thomas. Russia says it'll observe a 3-day truce in its war on Ukraine next week. Saka Magani has details.
Vladimir Putin says the 3-day pause will mark Victory Day, the anniversary of Russia defeating Nazi Germany. Ukraine's dismissing it as window dressing. President Volodymyr Zelensky yesterday again noted Ukraine's agreed to President Trump's proposed 30-day ceasefire and says Russia's deceiving the U.S. and the world by keeping up its attacks.
The president has made it clear he wants to see a permanent ceasefire.
White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt says the president's increasingly frustrated with both Putin and Zelensky. On NBC's Meet the Press yesterday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said this is a critical week
in which we have to make a determination about whether this is an endeavor that we want to continue to be involved in.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
Gaza health officials say Israeli strikes on the northern part of the territory killed at least 27 Palestinians. The head of Israel's Internal Security Service says he'll resign in June over the failure of his agency to warn of Hamas's October 7th attacks. Yemen's Houthi rebels say a U.S. airstrike hit a prison holding African migrants, killing at least 68 people. Canadians are voting whether to extend the Liberal Party's decade in power or hand control to the Conservatives. They're picking between new Prime Minister Mark Carney or populist opposition leader Pierre Poilievre. The Vatican says the conclave to elect a successor to Pope Francis will begin May 7th. Nicole Winfield has more.
They're spending the next few days talking informally about the needs of the church going forward, the types of a pope who can do what is needed to bring the church forward in this time of war and conflict and social upheaval.
And the White House is opening a week-long celebration of President Trump's first 100 days in office with a focus on his immigration crackdown. This is AP News. President Trump's approaching the 100-day mark of his new administration. Donna Warder has the findings of an AP NORC Center for Public Affairs research poll on how he's doing.
About 4 in 10 Americans surveyed think that President Donald Trump has been a terrible president in his second term. About 1 in 10 say he's been poor. About 3 in 10 say the president has been great or good. 2 in 10 say he's been average. Those surveyed were nearly twice as likely to say that Trump has been mostly focusing on the wrong priorities. Most who answered the poll haven't been shocked by the drama of Trump's first 100 days. About 7 in 10 adults say the first few months have been mostly what they've expected. Only 3 in 10 say Trump's actions have been mostly unexpected. Donna Warder, Washington.
One more finding, 7 in 10 Republicans say Trump's been at least a good president so far, though only about half say he's emphasized the right things. I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Zantiro. It is 7:41 in the morning on Tuesday, and here we go. It is April 29th, and it's beautiful. You're looking down there at Beach Road in Oleai, stretching all the way past the Soupy, and it goes all the way, wraps around past PIC. Place where you wouldn't want to be if you have to. Well, I mean, you would want to be there. I would want to be there. Should say you place you want to be. What am I thinking? It's crazy. Janira, I saw the message. Thanks so much. We are good to go, unless you sent something new. Oh, wait, here we go. Wait. I'm going to scroll back. All right. Yeah, we're going to get into that. Don't worry about it. No sweat. We'll look forward to getting this stuff done with those guys. We'll talk about what we've got on our side, so don't worry. But thanks so much for reaching out. It's great to have you on there. Thanks so much. Got your message. Good to go. All right. Good morning, everybody. Hey, we are back. and it is Tuesday morning, and it's going to be a great day. In fact, someone messaged me this morning. They're like, hey, today is going to be a great day. I don't know how yet, but I know it's going to be a great day. I'm like, hey, that's it. That's all that matters. Today is going to be an awesome day for everybody out here in the Marianas. Why? I don't know. It just is. It's better than being anywhere else we could be. So let's just take it for what we got right now, which is great. And we got so much to talk about today. Again, we got some updates about what's going on with DPL, with those cars and all that other stuff. And I know the fam's going to be trying to get that squared away, but we do have a little bit of update. And we had some conversations, knowing that we had some conversations with folks from a law class from UOG last night, and they said, hey, we're on the right track. They have made a determination that these folks absolutely should not have had their car taken away no matter what, but more than anything, that you are allowed to swim at Tank Beach. Yes, and we're gonna walk you through all that fun stuff today. And I'll tell you, man, people, it was a big deal yesterday. We started talking about this. It was crazy. That's all right, but we're gonna get to it today, guaranteed. And I'm sitting here thinking, ooh, should we also get into that conversation that's happening in the comments about last night? We showed the car accident. There was a vehicle that hit a person along Beach Road out here last night. And we put the video together just a little bit. We didn't get in anybody's face or anything. I respect everybody who's down there. And, we said, hey, it's out here in Olea. It's in our parking lot. And that's where it would be. And there, get one of the comments saying, no, that's San Jose. That's not Olea. I'm like, hey, I don't know what to tell you, but the building says Olea. The bar and grill across the street says Olea. The elementary school over here says Olea. Right over there's the Olea Sports Complex. Look, I get it. I'm not the guy who's going to get into that whole thing, but I think that there's a lot of people who have a take on it, and some people are a little bit more fired up about it than others. Hey, I just call it what everyone calls it. That's it. That's it. And it's not easy. Sometimes every once in a while I call the Hotel Fiesta. I know, it's Crown. I know. And Kanoa, Grand, yeah, I know that one too. It's just, hey, that's just one of those things. Anyway, that's what we got for it. And if the folks who are part of the Commonwealth Economic Development Authority, and they're the ones who know a thing or two about this area, because they're all locals, all of them. I think if they put Olea in the sign, I think that's where we're at. First Hawaiian branch, right down the street. You know what they call it? The Olea branch. It's okay. Hey, it's not my beef. Really, I don't have a beef. The only part that I get into about that is that it's like, hey, you're putting out misinformation about where it is. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's not misinformation. I have no agenda to fuel. I see it. I see you. But that's it. That's all I got for that. Anyway, yeah, I hear you. I absolutely hear you. But hey, that's a conversation for another time, right? Maybe that's just a great phone call conversation that we can get into. Oh well, it happens. Whatever it is, that is a conversation to have. But I want to get into something more important, and that's you. No, I don't. Yeah, I know what you're saying. No. But I would say good morning. Good morning to you, Tobot. My man from Dan, the Tint Man. Did that picture of you. I got to put that up here. I'm going to have to throw it up there on the screen a little bit. Dennis Matsumoto, good morning, my friend. Great to see you. Luisa Cabrera, the MVP of baseball. And baseball's right around the corner. That's right. Saipan Baseball League is coming back. That's right. It's not the Masters edition. It's the full-on. Eric Bopness, my man, my brother. Great to see you out here, fellow veteran. Did you know the time is ticking? This Saturday is Tres de Mayo. That's right, it's not Cinco de Mayo, it's Tres de Mayo. And it's gonna be at the VFW Saipan Post 3457. It is the place to be in Garapan. Entry is free for the cookie. It's the cookie chili off. It's the chili cook-off, and it's happened there. And if you haven't got into it already, you need to reach out to Jesse Stoll. But that's going to be the place to go. It's free. It is free to enter the contest. It's free to eat the chili from everybody over there, too. It's going to be great. And the drinks are going to be nice and cold and ready for you, too. You can't do any better than that. You get to eat free chili. You get to drink some cold beer or whatever you like. Margaritas are pretty good for a chili cook-off on Tres de Mayo. Not bad. And that's going to get started around 6 o'clock, so you don't want to miss that. What else is going on? Good morning, Janira. Great to see you this morning. Thanks for your messages as well. Good morning, Juan Hooka. Great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Great to see you again. Who else do we got out there? Frank Crisosimo. Great to see you this morning, my friend. Thank you for coming back here again. PJ, great to see you. Yeah, that is right. You see the coconut tree, take a right. That's exactly it. That is it. Oh my gosh, about Kayleen. I totally get that. I still call Joe 10 Superstore Costco sometimes too. That's just it. Joshua Brazel, my man, this guy, not only does he work out, are his workouts out of this world, so are his sights, because he's got all of the telescopes to capture all the heavens up above us. He's got some great stuff. Tobat says, freaking AI made me look like a Chinese person. Hey, man, I think you could be. If you try hard enough, you could be. Hey, and good morning, Tamara, over there at Public Lands. By the way, we got that land lease stuff that we got from the legislature the other day. And I'm here with my intern, John Bukid. Great kid, by the way. The CNMI is not ready for how awesome this kid is once he's done with high school and he gets unleashed on the world. I'm telling you, this kid is going to be dynamite out there. Well, anyway, he was going through it with me, and we were going through and getting that land lease stuff. And in fact, I'll pull it up, and it's missing a document. And maybe you can help us find it as I yawn right through that one. I struggled through that, struggling. But we got that land lease proposal from Eland. Here, where is it? I'm going to put it up on the screen here so you guys can see it. This is the branded version, yeah. But let me get just the original Eland deal here, right? Cagman, Senate, Shoreline, Antonia. No, come on. Or maybe I didn't save it that way. Yeah, whatever it is. But what I do have, the original and the branded version. There we go. Did I put it in the original file? All right. Well, whatever it is, while I'm sitting here talking my way through it, I do have it. It's missing page 44. Now, it doesn't mean there's, sequentially, they're all there. But it jumps from page 43 to 40. Here, if I do it this way, will it work? Yeah, well. All right, I'm going to just put this in the share screen. Tamara, if you're there, I'll show this to you here in just a second. Where is it? This one. Boom. All right. This is what we're looking at. So look at the bottom of the page, right? That's page 38. All right. Page 38, 39, 40, 1, 2, 3, then 45. And this is from the direct download that we got from the legislature. So it's just not there. Oh, here, no wonder. At least it will full screen it for you guys. But it goes from 43 to 45. So it's the Mariana Eland Corporation, Marpy Saipan. It just goes from page 43, as it says on the bottom, to page 45. Again, all the filing sequentially, I mean, that just shows, like, the digital version of the page is -50 and -49, so you would think that there's nothing missing. But who picked that up? That superstar intern, John Bukid, who's over there at school today. But he saw that last night when we were going through it, and I'm like, no kidding. All right, so not sure what's going on over there, but maybe we could find out. Maybe it was left out on purpose. Maybe there's something going on. I don't know. All right, hey, thanks so much, DPLCNMI. That's great. Really appreciate that. All right, let's see who else we got. You chose the right place to intern. I'm still going to have my mic holder job. Hey, that's right. You got Tobat. This job's ready for you. It is ready for you. I'm telling you, man. We couldn't do it. We couldn't do any of this stuff without you guys anyway. So, man, well, let's roll into it. We did get you the update from Associated Press this morning. We got you started off with that in the right way. What we didn't hit you yet. Oh, wait 1 second. Oh, wow. Hold on just 1 second. All right, just 1 second, 1 second. Just got a message about someone who wants to hop on the show. Oh, yes. Absolutely. Hold on. I need to save this number. This is great. Thursday? Let's see. We're setting something up right now. Let's see if we can lock this in for Thursday for the show. This is for you guys. This message I just got. I got two different messages from two different people. And I'm going to share them both with you. I won't tell you who they're from. Well, one of them, yes. Let's see. Okay. Okay, then can we do next week? All right, and this is it. So right now, working with our Secretary of Public Works, who's we're trying to get him on and talk about the updates on everything that's going on throughout the Marianas. Okay, so we're going to get him on next week. The other completely different message is the best one, and I'm going to read. It says, "Got to spend $600 this week so we can continue to sell liquid courage and promote unprotected sex for another year." You tell me who you think that's from. I mean, that's great. I love this. I absolutely love this. Really, that's the best. It's probably not the Catholic store. It's not. It's a totally different place, but I love that message. That's great. All right. Let's get to it. All right. Let's talk about, let me just check one last message before we dive into this DPL stuff, because I want to give you guys the update. All right, so here's what we got. We have been working on this whole thing with DPL for a little while because after we heard about this, we saw that post from Janira on Sunday about cars getting taken away, impounded, and all this other stuff. And because of people swimming. Yes. I'm actually talking about it right now. There you go. Yes, there we go. So when we heard about this whole thing about people getting their cars taken away over there at the Tank Beach because folks were swimming and they found some of their gear, and their gear being like snorkels and fins, it seems a little outrageous to us, right? But you got to take it with a grain of salt, take a pause, and find out what the heck really happened. So we reached out to the people who made the post and said, "Hey, can you tell us your side of the story? Or tell us what happened." And they told us that they were out there swimming. They weren't fishing. They know that it's a local beach and it's part of the sanctuary. And at the sanctuary, hey, you don't fish and you don't take stuff. And so they weren't doing any of that. But they had their car impounded. And they said that also tourists had their cars impounded that day. I'm like, holy smokes. And that's what we heard on the show yesterday. And they were told that they could go and talk to DPL on at like 4:30 yesterday. When we were like, hey, you don't have to wait to talk to DPL at 4:30. You guys can reach out to your Congress people, your representatives in the legislature, based on wherever you're from out here, and they will be on this, because there's no way that they passed this law thinking that you should get your car impounded. And by the way, we started reviewing the law, and there's nothing in there that says anything about getting your car impounded. Nothing. And that was just wild that it happened, right? So on top of that, who thinks you're not allowed to swim at Tank Beach? Right? Everybody swims at Tank. Raise your hand if you haven't swam at Tank Beach. Everybody's gone there. Okay, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people have. So we started digging into it. And there's nothing in there that one says you can't swim there. Kind of. But the way it's written is that the people who run the Fish and Wildlife, they can basically handle any objections, or they can mitigate any of those situations to take care of it, right? Pretty easy stuff. Well, so here's what we end up finding out. We called DPL multiple times yesterday. Every time they told us that they were in a meeting and that it's an ongoing investigation, but then when they finish the meeting, they will call us back. Fun fact, they didn't call us back. Not yet. We're going to try them again. So I found out that the folks who were involved reached out. The folks who were involved, like the people who got their car taken, reached out to their congresswoman, Marissa Flores, host of Off the Hill with Marissa Flores, right here on the NMI News service. And what a fighter she is. She went in there and said, hey, come on over. We got to talk about this, DPL. Or not DPL, Fish and Wildlife. Hey, we got to talk about this because this is not cool. And Fish and Wildlife is Representative Flores couldn't tell me some stuff because she said, hey, they're doing an ongoing investigation and they're continuing to do this. But here's what I can tell you. There's nothing in the law that said they should have taken their car, right? Nothing at all. And now what we want to do out of complete fairness for everybody is to get Fish and Wildlife on the show. And we're going to call them again because we want to have them explain it because, one, they're public servants, right? Just like everybody who works for the government, public servant. And, I could understand if, like, the officer who is involved doesn't want to talk about it because they're an officer, yeah. But they're the people in charge of their enforcement or the people in charge of Fish and Wildlife. There has to be somebody who has to talk about this, right? So I can only report from the side that we've got from those two, and it's still limited. Basically, from their side, what they conveyed to us is that Fish and Wildlife kind of said, hey, we're not going to charge you with anything. There weren't any citations that were issued at all anyway. And so you're not going to, there's no charges for you. There's no fines for you. There was never a citation written, and we're not going to write one now. Piece of cake. But they went to go get their car, right? Question is, where did the car go? If Fish and Wildlife doesn't have authority to take your car, where did it go? Well, they called and got it towed. So it got picked up and impounded. The towing company said it's a $120 fine. And there's probably a per day fee to pick it up. So they got the number for the tow company, the family did, and they went to get the car back. And the towing company said, yeah, but you got to pay this $120. And they're like, well, wait a minute. Fish and Wildlife told us that we're not fined for anything. We don't have a citation, and that it was their mistake, and we're good to go. But they still have to pay the fine, or they still have to pay for the towing fee. So that's my question to you right now, CNMI. Do you think this family should have to pay that $120 to get their car back? I say no, but that's my take. That's my take with the limited information, hearing nothing directly from Fish and Wildlife. And that's the thing. I can't get all worked up about that until I hear from them. But right now, like I said, I called them several times yesterday. And when I say it was like, it's not like I called back in like 30 minutes. Over the course of 5 hours, I called them a few different times to check on them because they said they would call me back in like a half an hour after the meeting. Well, apparently that meeting was like all day about this, right? So the news that we got from it is this. Hold on, I got to scroll down again. Hold on, I'm reading through something real quick. The big thing you want to take away is that there's no citation at all. The other one is that that officer who made that call might not have been actually on duty. So here's what we want to find out is what happened and all that. It's easy to get fired up about this. I could tell you that. If it was my family who got their car impounded, I'd be like, you know, WTF. And it wouldn't be, where's the fish? Right? I would be pretty upset, right? So here's what we ended up doing. We got a message about this. This part was really cool because other folks in the community got a little fired up on it too. And so we got messages last night. I'm scrolling to it right now just so I can give you guys the straight deal. There we go. We got a call, and we got messages, I should say, from UOG's criminal justice cohort that's got classes at Northern Marianas College. They're working on their 4-year Bachelor of Science degree. It's LW 360 Administrative Law. They've got 22 kids in this class, 22 students, I should say, 20 from Saipan and 2 from Tinian. And what they determined is that the law prohibits swimming and other activities unless provided for by the regulations. But the regulations provide for swimming. How about that? Where can you find something like that? Well, I'm going to put it on the screen for you. That's the split share. Let me just go straight up to the share screen. And I got to change the window so that you guys can see it. Yeah, so it's under the CNMI, and I'm going to zoom in on it for you a little bit. The 2025 CNMI Shoreline Public Access Guide. Now, that's one. That is definitely one of these. There's also, what's the other one? The management plan for the Cagman Wildlife Conservation Area and Forbidden Island Marine Sanctuary. Now, that's dated from May 15th, 2007, right? But it's specifically in there. But more, we can go to the thing that's most recent. And this is the part that kind of stings you a little bit when you look at it. I believe it was on page 25. Hold on. So when you scroll through this, this is lovely, by the way. They did a great job with this. They explain where all the sanctuaries are. Here's the guide that tells you what all these little things that you're going to see are, to tell you like what you're allowed to do and all of this, right? Great. They talk about where it is. You can actually get this digitally if you scan that QR code. And we'll post this up today too. But let's go through the marine protected areas, and we're going to go down all the way down to this. So here's the map of it. You could clearly see on there where they say you can find the Forbidden Island Sanctuary, right? That's clearly outlined down there. And is it the only sanctuary? No. You can see the Bird Island Sanctuary, and you can see the Managaha Sanctuary. There's also, in the different colors, the lighter ones are a little bit different. It's the Lighthouse Trocas Sanctuary, and then you've got the Lala Bay Sea Cucumber Sanctuary. By the way, I did not know that there was a sea cucumber sanctuary, but here I am learning, just like you. Aww. All right, anyway, let's keep going down and get to the most important part. I want to go down because they break these down by location. And we're going to scroll down there. There's all the different beach line accesses and accesses, if you will. No, we're going to go all the way down to the Forbidden Island Sanctuary. It's coming up. It's almost there. Bird Island, San Juan, Jeffries Beach, Old Man by the Sea. We're almost there. Tank Beach. There we go. I'm going to move this out a little bit more so you can see it a little bit more clear. I don't want you to miss this at all. Tank Beach. Tank Beach is within the village of Cagman, a dirt road away from La Languita Road. Tank Beach is part of the Forbidden Island Marine Sanctuary, so it is also a no fishing or no take site. It is an important sea turtle nesting site protected by law. The cliffs and waves make it a gorgeous site for nature viewing. The view of the eastern side of the island attracts visitors. The hidden Japanese casemate gives the site its name. Swimming in deeper underwater pools is observed during calmer conditions. Best to avoid swimming during high surf conditions. That little guy swimming there, that little icon, That means you could swim. It means you could take photos. You can absolutely swim there. Yeah, I'll tell you, I see your comments over there on the GMM's page, Dennis. Said, hey, whoever is liable for this mistake, or whoever made the mistake should be liable for the cost. And that's fair. I think you're right. I think that's fair. At the very least, since they were doing their job, then it's got to be Fish and Wildlife that pays for it. If they're the ones who called for it. And if they don't want to pay it, it really seems to me like a no-brainer that the family cannot be the ones made to pay for someone else's mistake in this. I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible that they should have to pay for it. Not to mention, by the way, ruined their freaking weekend. They towed their freaking car. Right? We're just talking about $120. They blew up their whole weekend, and imagine the stress that they have to go through all week to deal with this. They have to call their lawmakers and ask for help. They have to. How much time are they spending on all this? In the meantime, can't get around driving their car. So that's where I could see this getting a little upset. Now, is there other stuff going on? Did they do something else? Hey, maybe there's a reason for something else. Like, I'm sure, I can't imagine that they were just going about doing their own day and all of a sudden someone got all fired up, right? But they were, like, there's something that happened with this. And we want to find out what happened. We want to hear it from the folks who have something to do with it. And that's the fair way to go on something like this. So hopefully, when we reach out to them today, they'll call us. Now, again, when we spoke with Representative Flores yesterday, she said, same thing. Hey, these guys, the people who run it, they're great. Like, they're really cool. And they'll talk to us, and everything's great. Now, this is right around the corner, by the way. This is not Tank Beach, but this is the Forbidden Island and Forbidden Island Overlook. Now, see what they do have there? Of course, the warnings about the water. But you can see how, like, hey, you could snorkel over there. Where at Tank Beach, there's no little snorkel thing. All right. So, you can't snorkel at Tank Beach, is what they're saying. Now, that's a great question that I have for them as well. Not why, because the why is just the law, right? That part we can get answered. But I am interested in knowing why, if you could swim there, why you can't snorkel there. And why does snorkeling not count as swimming? There's a reason. They've got some kind of a definition about it. I just don't know what that is. And the environmental folks, they can explain it, right? They're smarter, that's what they do, and they can explain it to us and tell us. But it's weird, though, right? Hey, just explain it to the layman. Why? If you can swim there, which you can, it says it right there. It's outlined as recreation. What's the difference between swimming and snorkeling when it comes to something like that? I don't know. Is snorkeling more damaging to an area like that? Don't know. But there's a reason that you explain it. That's what we're going to ask him for today. I'm actually, by the way, I'm scrolling through down to that now. To get to that, I think this is the page. Cagman Wildlife Conservation Area, Forbidden Island Sanctuary. I just can't remember if this is the right page. No, it's not. I think it's the next one. I'm looking down to it. There's a table that they show as well. And I want to say it's like in the next couple of places. This is here. This is it. This is about like the area uses. That's the overlook. See, in contrast, Tank Beach is only a few meters from the parking lot, and the parking lot is adjacent to the Cagman Residential Village, which has approximately 500 homes. Hence, Tank Beach is a popular recreation site for many of the Cagman Village residents, as well as other Saipan residents. This beach is periodically visited by tourists, although it is not advertised as a major tourism destination. Visitors here typically can be seen partaking in family gatherings, picnicking, resting, strolling, playing in the surf, wading, and swimming. Campfires also are occasionally built here. And so this is it. Now here's this table. These are compatible uses for the area. And what do you see? Conducting non-motorized recreation in the water, including swimming, snorkeling, skin diving, and scuba diving. That's what's listed as a compatible use for the Cagman Wildlife Conservation Area and the Forbidden Island Marine Sanctuary. And in letter A, it says, the little subtitle here, says that these uses are compatible when they are conducted and regulated in a manner that does not significantly impact the conservation area resources. All activities conducted contrary to this are prohibited. Great. But for this one in particular, excuse me, it says snorkeling's okay. Say it's a compatible use for the Forbidden Island Marine Sanctuary. So, this is one of the uses that is, it's specifically explained in the law. Because when we talked about the law before, this is the newer law, the law that came out that they reference on that sign. And what it said was this, and let me get to that point. Excuse me, because we read it saying that you can only do it as long as it fits what's regulated. It's a little bit further down the page, as I recall from yesterday. All right, letter C is what we're looking at here. Try not to highlight the whole thing, but it's toward the bottom here. It says, no swimming, diving, snorkeling, or other human activity shall be permitted within the conservation areas, except as provided by the regulations. And the regulations that we're talking about are in these last two documents right here. It says right here that it's a compatible use, that you can conduct non-motorized recreation in the water, including swimming, snorkeling, skin diving, and scuba diving. I mean, that's it, right? I mean, that kind of tells the story right there. And so if somebody got a little overzealous in this process, it's right there. So one of the things that they mentioned, apparently at Fish and Wildlife, is that fins and masks are considered an intent to fishing. That doesn't count. It doesn't count. That does not count. If you look at the law right there, we just referenced the usage plan. Like, that doesn't count. We're talking about the compatible uses for that area. It doesn't say anything about intent. And how many tourists walk around with the pachinko? They don't. There wasn't one anyway, from what these guys were saying. Also, this is the 2025 thing right here. Here's the law. It says that you got to do it within the regulations, and here's the regulation that says it's a compatible use for the Forbidden Island Sanctuary. This is tough. Oh, we got a call coming in. Oh, but it's coming in on my other phone. Hold on. Sorry, guys. See if I can figure this out. No. Hey, if you guys can call the show phone is 670-789-2323. 789-2323. Please call that one. That's the best number to call for the show because that one's tied right into the board. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, that's the number. If you can call that one, that's the best one. So 670-789-2323 if you want to get us, if you want to get on the show. 670-789-2323. Michael Jordan, because who is that? All right, there you go. All right, so that's our number. Yeah, no idea who these guys are. That's why, what I end up doing is I ring these guys a lot. I look it up, say, who is that? Because that private number, when it pops up, too, is one of those. All right, soon the only thing that we can catch to eat is the cockroach. That's hilarious. Christo McConney, what's next? No sunscreen allowed like Hawaii? Maybe. Yeah, so it's crazy to see some of these things. Janira, I'll send you those documents for sure. Just a moment. I will get you those documents ASAP. But those are the main things. Those are your main takeaways that we were looking at yesterday. And I don't think that you should have to deal with this. I don't think that you guys, based on what we got so far, I don't feel like you guys should be the ones paying for that. Unless they tell us something different, you know. But right now, from what we got, and for what you told us, I should say, it doesn't seem like you guys should be on the hook for this. And that's probably the worst pun, or the worst wordplay. It was unintentional. There's no fishing involved with this one. All right. Hey, guys, it is 8:19. I'm going to send this to you. I'm going to send this over to you. And, yeah, I'm going to send this over to you guys, those documents real quick. And then we can go from there. Sound like a plan, Stan? All right, that's what we're going to do. All right, we're going to take a real quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk more about what's going on here in the CNMI. We didn't even talk about the headlines yet. We're still talking about this, this whole thing. That's it. All right, we'll see you guys in just a couple of minutes, so stick around. We'll be right back.
Paradise Dental's giving you the gas. Well, not that kind of gas. You already know that Paradise Dental has the most affordable coverage in the entire Marianas, and now we've got something special just for new customers. And now for a limited time, Paradise Dental is offering free gas vouchers for new signups for their coverage plan. If you sign up for a singles plan, you'll get a $10 gas voucher. If you sign up for a couples plan, that's a $15 gas voucher. And if you sign up for the whole family plan, that's a $20 gas voucher right after your first visit. So hurry down to Paradise Dental and sign up for the CNMI's most affordable dental coverage today. These gas vouchers are limited, and with smiles like these, you know they're going to go fast.
Hi, I'm Shauna Brenfleck, nurse practitioner and owner of Island Skin Solutions and Wellness Clinic. We are Saipan's only medical spa offering a wide range of services to meet your unique skincare goals. We offer exclusive medical grade skincare products that can only be purchased from a licensed medical professional. We also have the CNMI's only master esthetician who offers new patient consultations that include a mini facial tailored to your needs. Schedule your consultation today to get started on your skincare journey.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls, and you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for Better Car Replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
AP News, I'm Ben Thomas. As President Trump approaches 100 days in office, the White House is celebrating. Saka Magani has our report.
Spokeswoman Caroline Levitt says they'll highlight the achievements daily, starting today with border security.
We are in the beginning stages of carrying out the largest deportation campaign in American history.
So far, border czar Tom Homan says the administration's deported about 139,000 illegal immigrants.
Am I happy with our numbers? Are good.
And not higher because of better enforcement along the border. Homan says the Biden administration's deportation totals were inflated by counting migrants turned away as they tried to enter the country. The president today will sign 2 executive orders meant to implement stricter immigration policies. Sagar Magani, Washington.
The Kremlin's declared a 3-day ceasefire in Ukraine next week as Russia marks Victory Day in World War II. Kyiv says it should be a longer and immediate truce. The Vatican says the conclave to elect a successor to Pope Francis will begin May 7th, and Hai Panjwani reports Canadians are going to the polls.
They'll vote whether to extend the Liberal Party's decade in power or hand control to the Conservatives. They'll pick new Prime Minister Mark Carney or populist opposition leader Pierre Poilievre. Liberals looked like they were headed for defeat until President Trump won a second term and began threatening Canada's economy and sovereignty. Trump even suggested the country should become the 51st state. That's infuriated many Canadians and made the race closer. Whichever candidate becomes prime minister will face big challenges, including a trade war. I'm Haya Panjwani.
And a blackout has brought much of Spain and Portugal to a standstill.
The outage knocked out subway networks, phone lines, traffic lights, and ATM machines. One Portuguese official said the problem appeared to be with Spain's electricity distribution network. The Portuguese National Cybersecurity Center says there was no signs the outage was due to a cyber attack. I'm Marcela Sanchez.
This is AP News. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent tells CNBC he's convinced China will back off in the tariff fight.
The Chinese business model is predicated on selling subsidized goods into the U.S., and it's just not a long-term business strategy for them. So I am sure that they will come and want to de-escalate.
And Sotel has the AP Markets report.
Stocks drifted to a mixed close ahead of a week with several potential flashpoints that could bring more sharp swings for markets. The S&P 500 fell 0.1%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 114 points. It's about 0.3%. The Nasdaq slipped 0.1%. Several of Wall Street's most influential companies will report their latest earnings this week: Amazon, Apple, Facebook's parent company, and Microsoft. Some big reports on the economy are also due out, including the monthly job market survey on Friday. Treasury yields fell in the bond market. Seth Sutel, New York.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
PHI is your local pharmacy serving customers in Cagman, Garapan, and Dandan since 1996. Shop PHI Pharmacy for all your prescriptions, and we even offer a large line of multivitamin supplements. Our Dandan location is open weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 4 on weekends. Or visit our Garapan and Cagman locations weekdays from 8 to 6 and 8 to 1 on Saturdays. Check us out online at phipharmacy.com or follow us on Facebook. PHI is a locally owned independent community Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Tiro, thanks for calling the show. Who is this?
Hey, Brad. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Ray. Hey, going back to the earlier discussion in regards to the sanctuary areas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it has to be really indicated whether it's federal or local laws, because most of the federal sanctuary areas are prohibited.
Mm-hmm.
And the local sanctuary usually has some leniency, and I don't understand why it doesn't connect. Because not technically, sanctuary meaning You're not prohibited for some reason. But the question going back to a car being impounded, that is ridiculous. You know, my concern is normally DPO has nothing to do with that. It's usually what DPO does is designated public lands to departments that has to enforce local or federal laws. Mm-hmm. So that's why there is no such thing. Involvement with DPO has nothing to do with that, because it's already been designated to a department that authorized to regulate within the department public lands. Yeah. So that's going back, but I think there's got to be some clarification, because the definition is sanctuary, and I think there's some misinformation, and I think I saw the video. I think what needs to be done is it needs to be clarified. Public law, whatever public law should be done on that billboard, and all the do's and don'ts, and something to happen like that is uncalled for.
I completely agree. In fact, what we're putting it on the screen right now, and we could zoom in. That's the actual sign for Forbidden Island Sanctuary. And by the way, there's nothing there. We're going to call it Forbidden Island Sanctuary, a big white thing, which probably used to have something, right? It probably just faded away.
And I think that's where we always have an issue when it comes to local law or federal law, is when the department writes regulation, it contradicts the definition of sanctuary. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so those things need to be clarified. I know the laws that requires or mandate people should be on the billboard. That's the purpose of having that billboard, to put the local law and the do's and don'ts so people can be aware. And I feel bad for our tourists that are coming here to enjoy the moment and to experience that. That's uncalled for.
Yeah, just imagine you're in another place where you probably don't speak the language, and all of a sudden someone comes over and they take your car. And that's one thing. The other part about this, which is a big deal, is that nobody was issued a citation for anything at the site. They basically, somebody came down there who was off duty, didn't ask anybody for any identification, and took their
Here's another thing, Brad, that I like to bring up to the attention of the disabled parking, right? All the disabled parking here in the cinema is not in the context of the federal law. Because normally in the States, they would tell you you're going to get fined, right? The fine is listed there, $250 to $1,000, right? So here, parking, the disabled parking doesn't meet the law. And this is a federal, this is not a local law. And people needs to be granted, and cinema needs to enforce this, because disabled parking, meaning that the disabled person who has been given that permit has to be present in that vehicle.
Yep.
So that means if the disabled person that's been granted with that permit cannot use that permit for the sake of parking and disability parking. And this needs to be addressed, because a lot of people are taking those spaces for the people that really need it the most. So I don't know with the law who is required to enforce this, either DPS or somebody's designated to enforce all this parking lot. And many of these disabled parking lot does not meet federal requirements. And they need to address that, because that is a federal law. And they need to put the fine, that the right way to put a disability parking, you must indicate the fine and the law. So that's why people don't know. They just park their car for the heck of parking. And the cinema drivers need to respect that. They need to not occupy that space if they don't have a valid parking space. This is what do you call that? A big issue in the cinema. Non-compliance, not regulated right.
You're 100% right on that. And I don't know how many times I've seen it. Somebody's driving with they're driving their mom's car. Mom's at home, so they just, I'm going to pop into the store and get the good parking space.
Correct.
And I'm like, oh man, there's nobody in the car with you. So
correct.
I sometimes it got me fired up. It's one of the things that bothers me a lot. But I'm like, maybe Maybe they dropped their mom off at the store and they're just picking her up. But, I never know. That's why I don't get involved in it anymore. But I used to stick my nose into it all the time.
Well, I mean, then the reason why the people do not respect this parking space is because there is no such information that if you do violate this, you're gonna get fined. In the States, they will tell you you're gonna pay up to from $700 to $1,000 if you violate that parking space.
Oh yeah.
And someone is enforcing it. And I'll give you an example. I've seen some representative park at disabled parking and they're not disabled because DPS normally gives you an identification card who is authorized to park there.
And you got to display
not the
it.
person that's driving. And this thing needs to be understood by the people or the public. And it's really sad and there's just no respect for disabled parking.
Well, it's a really good point. And so, to think about that, we do a lot of work with the folks from NM Posse. And we were talking about making a commercial specifically about that, about don't park in the blue if it's not for you. And hopefully we can get that thing over the finish line and put that out for everybody too, because I'm with you 100%. And what is the best thing? I mean, right now, it seems like people could just take pictures of these guys and post it, but that doesn't.
I think that the one that really bothers me the most when you're a lawmaker and then you are messing up the law.
Yeah.
And then I observe you and I say, how can you be a lawmaker when you're contradicting the law?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's just not right. I mean, it's tough to be an elected official because you're on a microscope, but you should know better than that, right?
Yep. And the other one, a good education on that, is that not only is that blue space not where you park, that spot that's got the little slashes through it next to it, that's not a place to park because that's how people can get in and out with their wheelchairs or their walkers or their assisted devices.
You're exactly right. That's why all the disabled parking here is not in compliance with the federal law.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to get on top of that because, man, one day I'll be in a wheelchair and I'll be very frustrated because I can't get up.
Yeah, it's just, you're just not respecting the folks who could really use it.
I mean, there's a reason why there's a disabled parking for somebody that needs it, not for everybody. And be mindful for people that are driving vehicles that do not have the ID from DPS authorizing them to park. They should be given a ticket. So strictly, that's for the disabled person, not for anybody that drives the car. And then that needs to be clarified by, what was that agency you were mentioning earlier?
NM Posse.
Yeah, NM Posse needs to do some educational on disabled parking because, man, you go around the island, everybody parks there, regardless. And I feel bad one day that person needs that parking the most and couldn't access it. And people need to respect that. I mean, we don't need to tell people. They should know why the disabled parking is there.
Absolutely. I wonder if that might be a big DPS thing too. Like, so NM Posse, they're great. They're a nonprofit and everything. So they get grants to do all that stuff. So I know they could do it. But I wonder if that isn't something that maybe we can get our friends over at DPS to get on as well, because they're getting the licenses, right?
Well, here's the question. Within the context of the law, who is given the authorization to enforce that? They do have security within the facility, but all they do is call DPS. But if they're given that, if they're deputized to issue citation or impound a vehicle, why waste DPS time to come over and enforce it where they can enforce it?
Yeah, that's great.
Especially in a government area or a government facility. And this needs to be addressed, man. This is ridiculous already. I mean, you come to a government agency or department, especially the hospital, man, even employees are parking in a disabled parking.
Jeez.
It's ridiculous.
At the hospital?
Yeah, and it's enough. It's far away from the main entrance, and the people that needs the parking has to park, another 20 feet away from the designated area. That's bad. I mean, somebody has to take charge of this and really put teeth on the law and just fine people.
Man,
We got to stop that compadre and comadre, uncle and nephew. You know, you break the law, you pay for it. It's very plain and simple. I mean, in the States, they enforce it. I mean, gosh, people are scared to park at the disabled parking. And it's in the States, they enforce it. They have that respect. But here in the cinema, it's 14, 13 miles, and they can't enforce it. If you can't enforce it, what's the point of having a law? That's the bottom line. If we don't have the capacity to enforce the law, why have it? It's just nuisance for people. You know?
Absolutely.
For a 14 miles house, and we have so many laws that drowns everybody. And tell me why all these businesses are leaving the island. Can't even freaking afford CACC or CUC. I mean, how can you invite investors when the government is freaking almost $500,000 in deficit? They know that if they come in, they're going to have to take cut on those deficits to pay it up. So, you know, we really need to look at our infrastructures and make it reasonable. I mean, even our own people can't even afford CUC, can't even afford an air condition to turn it on. I'm sorry, I'm going off the subject, but this is reality in life. You know, and NBA got to work hard, man. You got YouTube, you got freelancers out there advertising all these tourist sites or destination. They gotta change their strategy. You know.
Hey, Ray, I got a question for you about that.
Yeah.
I was just having this conversation 2 days ago because, you know, NBA every year, it seems like their budget gets smaller and smaller, right? Like there's always get something taken away. But then they're the ones who are being charged with fixing up all our tourist sites. And what I was thinking is that our tourist sites are on public land. So could NBA be charged with the idea of improving them and then using our public lands money to do the actual improvement? Because public lands actually has money, right? I don't know if it's DPL or MPLT.
No, they don't. Public lands cannot handle that. They just have a very straight budget, and they don't have other revenue to accommodate all those public lands. And the north side of public land is designated to DLNR. So they are responsible for the public lands back there to keep it up to date and whatever renovation.
Could it be MPLT?
You know, MPLT is another subject. You know, MPLT derived from the covenant.
Mm-hmm.
So MPLT is a different animal. It has nothing to do with Department of Public Land. They just do is they remit the whatever collection. Normally, DPO gets their budget of $5.5 million annually, and whatever remains goes to MPLT. So that's the Constitution.
Okay.
Yeah. So if even NMD has nothing to do with MPLT. We don't even get benefits from MPLT. The government does, but not the Northern Marianas descent. And that's been the argument all these years. And I've done that research, and it has no benefits to the NMDs. The NMD's benefits is a DPL. So even with MPLT, they're required by law, by the Constitution, to publish their quarterly financial report, and they have yet to do that. And what happened to the 200,000 that it's sitting in Russia?
I heard
they need
about
an
that.
Explanation. Yeah, they need an explanation. They are required because that's DPO money or MPLT money. They need to update CNMI with the financial portfolio or their audits. But you know, same chicken, same music. You know what I'm saying? You know, and this is the thing that frustrates me the most about CNMI. We got a lot of educated people that are not here. They're in the States. Okay, and that's why CNMI continues to be the same, because we still have the same monkey running CNMI. you know, Brad, let's be real. As you get older, you become obsolete. And let's not be fooled with each other, right? Your brain tends to be obsolete. So, you know, it's the same monkey running cinema. It's the same result. And people continue to suffer. I want to just be blunt and be straight, you know? And people got to wake up, man. We can't keep putting the same people, same mentality, same abuse, continue to sit in that most precious chair that they need to serve the public. And those has not dwindled down to the public. Something has to change. Something needs to change. I'm tired of seeing the same monkeys. We need people. We need different ideas, different strategies. And, you know, it's sad. You know, that we got a lot of people lining up at the food stamp. Why are people lining up at food stamp? That's deprivation. That's recession. That's how you determine the economy in the cinema, when you have a lot of people at NAP lining up, especially their locals. Why are locals unemployed? Why? Here's the question, why? Does it take somebody to pump gas? Does it take to serve food at a restaurant or at a hotel? Come on. That's stereotyping one group of people. Those are our children who needs to start occupying those space or those positions. There is no reason. And the United States will not bail out cinema with local financial issue. They will never. Just like Puerto Rico, they filed bankruptcy. The United States did not step in because that's local matters. So good luck, whoever wish. Good luck if they wish that President Trump or the Congress will bail out us out. We have a really terrible rating when it comes to federal grants. Cinema has really bad rating. That's why they scrutinize cinema when it comes to federal grants. So that's all I want to share, Brett. I just wanted to share this with you because I think DLNR needs to revisit their regulations because, you know, the law is the law, but the regulation contradicts the law. So it has to be uniform, right?
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it. Really appreciate your call. Thanks for calling in. That's your first time calling,
no problem,
right?
Brett. Continue you're doing a great job. Continue to, educate our people and you're doing a great job. Thank you for your program and keeping your brain active, huh?
Trying not to be obsolete.
But just don't burn out.
I hear you.
All right, Brad. Thank you so much. Take care.
Yeah, thank you. You too, and have a great week.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, so that's part of the ongoing stuff that we're talking about with this sign, and we're going to find out from our friends how this actually does work out for them today. I know they're going to go back to it and try to get some of this stuff done. They're going to keep battling to try to, so they don't have to pay to get their car back. But we are going to call them. In fact, I mean, we can call them together, and we could do it now, actually, if I go back and see if there's anything else. 1 second. And that's it. I got to get them one more of these documents. 1 second. I want to make sure I get them the right one. I think this is it. This is it. I got to send this to them also. I sent them the Forbidden Management Plan. This is the Shoreline Public Access. This is the other one. So these are the 3 documents in there where we put this stuff out. So let me get this 1 second. 1 second. We're sending this over to the family right now so that they can use this. Oh, we got a call coming in. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. I think this is our friends. 1 second. Holidays on T Road. Thanks for calling the show. Who is this?
Hi, Brad. This is Tiava from NM Posse.
Tiava!
How are you doing?
I am doing great. We were just talking about how awesome you guys are.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We were listening in. We do appreciate you sharing the article that our programs coordinator, Cleo, wrote about wellness in action and how she has engulfed herself with the pickleball community and how great that could be an outlet for the upcoming Mental Health Awareness Month. But we also did want to, continue to clarify that, NMPOSSE is here and we're able to assist individuals with disabilities who have had their rights discriminated, right? And we do often get a lot of calls on our end as well regarding, accessible parking and the enforcement part. And just to, reiterate, we need clients in order to represent them in these kinds of cases. We do our best to educate the community and provide training to the proper officials, such as, the Department of Public Safety. And we have yet to have training from other individuals who enforce this law, but we're very open to it. And we're happy to reach out, and if anybody who is listening in would like us to provide that kind of training, we are more than happy to provide that training. But when it comes to enforcement, the best that we can do without having a client to represent is to educate, and we do that by passing out brochures. Even in our own building, some can call us a menace, but every time we're downstairs and we see parents who, we're located at the Marianas Business Plaza, so we see parents who drop their children to the daycare on the first floor, and it's a lot easier to just, I'm just going to park in the blue, just really quickly go drop and go back in. But unfortunately, even that simple act of just, I'm going to be there, I'm going to take a minute or two, is already in violation of the law because there's no placard most of the time. And, speaking on our staff standpoint, we do have a staff who has a placard and uses the accessible parking stall. And when he tries to come in and clock in for work and there's, cars that are there dropping off their children with no placard, those are issues we encounter. And we would go downstairs, educate the parents, and let them know that you can't be doing this. There's a drop-off zone. There's other parking slots. It's an additional maybe 2-minute walk, but you're not in violation. And, we do agree that enforcement does need to happen, because if nothing's enforced, then, it doesn't people often to do it more often. So, for example, speeding. A lot of people would not speed if they see a speed trap or if they see people getting tickets. But if you're constantly violating a law where it's not enforced, I see how people would often prefer to just, it's okay because it's not enforced. But, we're here to educate the public and let them know that enforcement is important. We're here to provide that training and that education for individuals who are interested to learn more. We have collaborated a few times with DPS in regards to enforcing this law. And we're very happy to hear and get more calls from the public in this type of concern. But in order for NMPOSSE to take action, we do need a client who has a disability, who has issues parking in the blue, to come and reach out to us personally so that we can take a more advocacy and legal action route.
Yeah, well, you guys are like my heroes for all that stuff that you guys do. I mean, really, I know you, because that's my favorite part about what you guys do. Is that you're not the ones who put on the capes and do all the things. You promote self-advocacy for folks. So you don't just do it for everybody, although you do, but you help people, you equip them with the tools to advocate for themselves. It's just such an empowering organization. You guys do it for people who, again, like, can you imagine? I heard you say, well, it might be a 2 more minute walk. It's not even a 2 minute more walk. I bet it's probably like an extra 15, 20 seconds that you're going to have to walk to make sure that one of your friends or your neighbors or your family member doesn't have to deal with all the potholes in the parking lot, the rough stuff if they got wheels that they're riding on, like with a wheelchair, or if they have to deal with a cane, or if they've got crutches or something that gives them a mobility disability. Like the whole purpose of those spots is that our community got together and said, some people should absolutely have an easier place to get in and get out of the building so that they can have equal access to everything else in life. And we've done that. And then there's some folks out there who just don't get that yet.
Exactly. But thank you so much for shining a light on this, and we do appreciate, we were listening into that call in regards to, ADA compliance, and that's some trainings that we also offer. Is we do offer comprehensive trainings on the entirety of the ADA. There's 5 titles to it.
Wow.
Sometime a few months ago, we also did a training with NMHC in regards to some housing regulations with the Fair Housing Act, but as well as ADA. How can you make a place ADA compliant? And perhaps we do need to continue these trainings with, more agencies that are involved in the process of constructing a new building. How can you be ADA compliant? But being ADA compliant is meeting the bare minimum standards of being accessible. You can never be more accessible. You can always continue to surpass the bare minimum that's required by the law and continue to make public buildings accessible for all.
I'm with you 100%. And you come on all the time to talk about it. In fact, when we do our next Advocacy Amplified, I spoke with Cleo. She said you guys are looking at May 6th.
Yes, May 6th, Tuesday at 2 p.m., 3 p.m.
Oh, hold on. While we're here, we'll just get all our business done over the phone
Yes.
with everybody here with us. Let me just look at the calendar real quick just to make sure.
Yes, so they can hear it first when we're scheduled to go out.
This is a promotion. This is a total promotion. All right. May 6th, 2 p.m. It's a Tuesday, and it's good to go. So I'm putting you guys in there right now. NM Posse.
Perfect.
Advocacy Amplified. And that's something that folks who are listening right now or watching, you can watch that right here. It'll be a live show that we have on NMI News Service with NM Posse. I'm not on it on the camera part. I'm behind it doing all the production stuff. But you got Josh Meneses and Tiava Tuamata who go out there, and then they bring in these great guests who come on the show too.
Yes, thank you so much, Brad. Our topic for our next podcast will be on Mental Health Awareness Month, which is going to be celebrated every May. And we have a special guest that we'll be bringing on. TBD. We're just finalizing the details with our special guest, but we're excited to have one of the mental health professionals to talk about this important topic. And thank you so much, Brad, for always advertising and letting people know that, if they need some assistance or they're not sure where to go, we're happy to provide INR here at NM Posse.
I love it. Well, you guys are the best. NM Posse, that's the posse you want to join. You want to be with these guys. All right. Well, thanks. Hey, and by the way, now I know for sure that you guys listen to and watch the show.
Yes.
That's great. It's pretty cool. All right.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much again.
Hey, and tell everybody over there too. I mean, like, you guys being a part of this whole thing is how we ended up getting to our 10,000 followers.
Yes, congratulations for 10,000 followers.
Yeah, thanks. And we're going to keep. We're past it now, but we wouldn't have been able to do it without folks like you believing in us. So thanks so much.
Of course. Have a great day, Brad.
You too.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right, that's Tiava Tuamata from NM Posse called in. She heard us talking about the people parking in the disabled parking spots, and that was great. Hold on one second. Oh, okay, gotcha, DPL. Thanks so much. Yeah, it's not DPL, Sorry about that. If I must have written that wrong in the description for the show. Not DPL, Fish and Wildlife. You got it, DPL. Don't hate me. You guys are great. But it's regards to the it being on public lands. This is probably why I ended up doing that. Got you. You're fine, DPL. I love you. Everybody loves you. Oh, man. Well, hey, sometimes you get it right. Sometimes not so much. All right. Hey, we're creeping up at 9 o'clock, and it has been a great show so far. I've been having a great time with you guys. I feel like we can conquer just about any situation. Name one. Let's do it. We'll take it on, baby. I'll tell you what, before we do anything, we're not going to call public lands, but we are going to call the folks from Fish and Wildlife. Does that sound like a plan? I think it sounds like a plan. So let me look that up. And don't worry, DPL. After the show's done, I'll make sure I change that heading. But let's go to, I have their number because I wrote it down right here. Let's give them a call. See if we can't get them on the phone. I imagine I'm going to get a whole lot of no. Oh, I can't call now anyway, because right now Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Guam, he didn't even have to buy a ticket. Welcome, our friend, our brother, Piling Gazebo.
Good morning, Brad. Good morning, Mariana.
Good morning. Piling, I saw that picture you posted yesterday. What is that? That thing looks awesome.
That's a BR BP. It's a 12-gauge shotgun.
Jeez, that thing is a beast.
Yeah, it's a door opener.
Yeah. Wow.
That thing will kick a door in.
No kidding. It's the Saki welcoming device.
Yeah. Hey man, I enjoy listening to that guy, Rick, or the one that just coded.
I thought he said Ray. I gotta listen. I gotta go back.
Oh, yeah, I enjoy what he was saying, but I want to share some things to him, Brad.
Yes.
No, there's too much regulations with our beaches there. And also for the locals, we cannot swim, we cannot fish. There's so many things that we cannot eat the coconut crab. We cannot eat the deer. You know, we're locals. We're indigenous. We want to maintain our way of life, our culture. No, but it's too much regulation. Too much regulations, and those regulations is unfair to our way of maintaining our way of life, our culture as indigenous people on that small island.
Mm-hmm.
So it's too much. So, and I love the guy when he says "say monkeys."
Yeah.
You know, it's like. It's kind of funny, because the Republican is a donkey, and the Democrat is an elephant. So maybe the monkey is an independent. But I don't know why they're using animals as their slogan. The Republican is an elephant. The Democrat is a donkey. And something is not right, and our lawmakers, Lana, they should push forward with doing greatness. And the guy is right. There's so many people lining up on food stamps. So many lining up, and you know the sad thing is that. We got used to, our people or our leaders got used to seeing a lot of money. It's always money. We at one point, our cinema had so much money. You look back during the government time,
Mm-hmm.
the Japanese and Japan Airlines, non-stop flight, outgoing, incoming, non-stop. The bus were moving around, tour bus, moving around, taking tourists from each hotel, bringing them to duty-free, sightseeing. There's like, if you go to Marpi during when Nico Hotel, La Festa, and Saipan Tour Service, that bus company, Taxi Tour, Top Development, during those times, the bus lining up every day, early in the morning. Because I worked for STS for 4 years, a tour bus driver. We every day we bring tourists to Marquis, non-stop, bus loaded. And it's not only STS tour bus. We've been making money left and right. Cinema's been making money left and right, but something went wrong. But where did it went wrong? Where did it went wrong, and how did it went wrong?
Mm-hmm.
So who's to blame? Who's to blame? The people? Or something was not right, and some investors say, "Oh, the heck with this! We don't want to get involved with this kind of government." Oh, but to be honest, our leaders became greedy with money. Greedy, very greedy, very greedy, and the only salary that is moving up. That's why we got more of the locals. You know, and if you say anything about our government, about our leaders, people will hate you. Even your own family will hate you. Because, you know, our top employer in our cinema is the government. It's not the private sector. It's not the private sector. How in the hell will you find a good life in the private sector when your minimum wage? You know, you can be working at the private sector for 15 years. For 15 years. And the highest salary increase out of the 15 years that you work for the private sector, only 15 cents they increase. Oh, but in the government, if you work in the government, you know, whenever your anniversary comes in, 1 year anniversary, you get a salary increase. You go training, and you accomplish your training. You get again a salary increase. Oh, as you move up, they do a performance rating, and you know, they break you down as an outstanding employee. This and this, your salary increase. So the only minimum wage that is going up is you have to work for the government. You have to work for the government to find a better life. Mm-hmm. You have to support even monkeys. If the monkeys are running the government, then you have to support that monkey, because that's the monkey that's gonna make you work in the government so you can find a good life. That is where the money is. That is where the money is. You have to be employed by the government.
Yeah, it seems like it.
And they hear us. Yeah, they're right now they're listening to us. Leaders, congressmen, senator, even the governor, senate governor, you name it, even department head, they're listening to us, and they know it's the truth. The minimum wage never goes up with the private sector, but your minimum wage on the government side of employment, you will reach heaven. You will reach heaven, but in the private sector, you're still there next to hell. Next to hell, you know.
I know it.
That's how it is.
Well, I can tell you where the money isn't. It's right here.
Yeah. Even the bushy. the bushy and the abuse of ARPA funds. Where did they continue? Did they continue the investigation? No. They stopped searching for where the money went. It's because it's the monkeys, like the guy said.
Yeah.
They stopped. Yeah, but the regular people, you know, is that kind of, if the regular person, that monkey, we should take that monkey and put in the monkey jail. In the monkey cell. No?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, because there are special monkeys and not so special monkeys. That's the thing. And it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. Yeah, that's true. And that's why we're failing. That's why we're failing. We're failing. And it's the truth. You want a good life? Support the monkeys. So that's where your salary gonna increase.
Yeah.
And it's still they still wanna bring in more outside workers while right in front of their face before they go to work, the people lining up at the Villagomis building for food stamps, and they see how many people are lining up. Remember when those cars were lining up? Now good, they're sitting down under the tent. But during the times when cars were lining up, from that food stamp office past Guangdong, it's a long line.
Mm-hmm.
And they see it. They see it. They know that a lot of the regular people are suffering. And then some monkey say, why are you on food stamp? Go work. Work where? You don't want us to work because you want to continue CW. Outside workers. Hey, you go to a Chinese store. Found how many locals working in that Chinese store? It's owned by Chinese. Oil employees, majority of the employees are Chinese.
Yeah. Hey, Piling. Hey, I know you're in Guam. Do you have any plans? Are you coming back here anytime soon?
Yeah, I'm planning for my father-in-law's death anniversary. Maybe like in 2 months. That's in 2 months from now.
Well, you gotta.
So I'll be there. I miss my island. I love my island of Saipan. And I need to visit my dead family members, my dad, my grandpa, my brother. I want to visit them at the cemetery. I know the legislature don't want me to visit them, but it's okay. I'll go visit at the cemetery.
Hey, if you have time, I know it's a family trip, but if you have time, you got to come over and visit us.
Right on, brother. I love you. I love you every day. Every day, every year, forever. And I love my Saipan. That's my motherland. Even I'm here on Guam, my heart is there. My body is here, but my heart is over there.
Hey, Tobat said to bring Jack in the Box.
Right on. Yeah, even the Burger King. Oh, calm down.
That's great. Hey,
You guys take care. Always know that my heart is there. My body is here. I love you guys.
All right, we love you too, brother. Thanks so much. Always love it when you call. All right, take care. That's Piling Gazetmo giving us a call from Guam. It's always, it is never a boring call when Piling is calling. We're going to hear something legit, some real feeling. You don't have to wonder what he's thinking about. All right, so while we're here, you know what we were talking about doing beforehand, before he called? We were talking about giving a call to not public lands, to Fish and Wildlife. And to say, hey, Fish and Wildlife, what is the deal? What is going on? Now, what they mentioned yesterday was that, hey, it's an active investigation, so we're not really getting into it. All right, makes sense, right? And they were in meetings the whole time, right? They were in meetings the whole time when we called, so we weren't able to actually have that conversation with them. Hold on. Ooh, I'm going to try to edit this while we're at it. Not DPL. DFW. Here we go. There we go. There you go. Hey, public lands. It says DFW now. That's not Dallas-Fort Worth either. So we got that fixed. You don't have to wait till after the show to get that squared away. By the way, all the comments that were coming in, you guys were killing me. That was awesome. Just hilarious. All right. Hey, I know I don't want to stretch it out, but I do want to try to call these guys from Fish and Wildlife and find out what they've got to say. And I'll bring you guys along for the ride, all right? So let me just turn down the music a little bit and see if I can't do this now. Just give me a sec. All right, so let's get the main. Let me pull up their number. And I just noticed something I need to fix as well. Boom. Done. All right, so let's turn this down, give these guys a call, and see if they're able to break it down to us. I mean, and we're not holding anybody accountable like, we're not saying, hey, you guys are bad guys. Just, hey, give us your side of it. What happened?
The number you have dialed does not answer.
They
Please
answered
try
yesterday,
again
but they definitely know the number because I called yesterday and they have caller ID. They're like, hey, is this your number? This 789-2323. And like, yes, let's try giving them a call. Maybe somebody went up to the bathroom or something. Right, PJ?
The number you have dialed does not answer. Please try again later.
Okay, let's just make sure that I've got the right number that they show online. Fish and Wildlife regular number is this. So, you know, this is okay because it doesn't have to just be that department. So we can call their main trunk line anyway because we could speak with whoever is Fish and Wildlife, and that's what we'll do for this time. This is their number, 664-6000.
Good morning, DFW.
Hello, DFW. This is Brad Rosala from NMI News Service. How are you this morning?
I'm fine.
Great. Hey, I want to see if I could speak. I don't know who the director is for Fish and Wildlife, but if I could get in touch with them today.
Okay, let me just get your info. Brad Mizama?
Ruzala.
Oh, can you spell that? Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. It's R-U-S.
R-U-S.
Z-A-L-A.
And you're from?
NMI News Service.
News?
Uh-huh.
Okay. News Service. And you would like to set up a meeting with her?
Well, I've got a call. I made a few calls yesterday to try and talk about. There was a resident and tourists who had their vehicles impounded by Fish and Wildlife Enforcement on Sunday. So I wanted to talk about that.
Oh. Okay, hold on, please.
Okay. So bad. Play some hold music.
hold music. No, we're still there. You guys and your time limits. Saying we need to have a maximum time for phone calls and for max waits.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Hi. Can I get your contact information? I would have to call you right back. She has to look into her schedule.
Into her schedule? Okay.
Yeah.
And whenever she's free for a phone call, so my number is 670.
I'm sorry?
You need my phone number?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so 670.
Okay.
789
Mm-hmm.
2323.
2323. Okay. I'll give you a call back as soon as I get a response from her, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, have a good day.
You too, bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, so, well, there you go. That's what we've got so far from them. And Caleb, I know. Again, it's not, they don't want to talk to you, Brett, probably. But, the main thing is, when we do these kind of calls, it's not a bad thing. It's not like no, it's none of that. It's more like, hey, tell us what happened. The fair thing is to do is when there's two sides to something is to tell both sides of it. And so find out what happened from the perspective of the folks over at not DPL, over at Fish and Wildlife, and say, hey, what happened? So we got somebody who called and messaged, they posted this stuff about what their version is, what happened. So when we listened to what they had to say and we looked into it, but we tried yesterday to speak with the folks over at Fish and Wildlife, and we didn't get anything. Other than we did speak to a couple of different people that told us that they weren't the ones who were involved in it. So the people who were involved in it and their enforcement chief, they were in a meeting, and they were in a meeting all day yesterday talking about that stuff. So we weren't able to get it from them. But now that's why we're going up to the next level up, because when we tried calling that same number for enforcement today, nobody answered. Okay, hey, maybe they're not there. Maybe they're out there getting bad guys. But then when we go up to that next level to try to tell that whole story, get the whole complete story, right? So, that's it. Just to tell the whole story, call Trey. He might hook you up faster. Yeah, he's in brown tree snake land now. He's not over there anymore. But the most important thing is fairness in this stuff, right? You can't hear me? Really? You can't hear me? No way. I see you saying mute. I think maybe your volume's down. I think everyone else can hear me. Right? Caleb, you can't hear me, really? Everything looks like you should be able to hear me just fine. Right? Yep. All the levels are up. It might just be you. It might just be you. Yeah, Tobot's saying audio is good. So... so the main thing is on this, again, fairness. You got to tell both sides of the story. Find out what the folks at Fish and Wildlife have to say. Hey, I'll tell you what, if it was indeed a screw up, somebody did something or something that they shouldn't have done, it should be really, hey, we screwed up. Like, that's the best PR thing. That's the best response to it. You can't save face sometimes. You just got to say, hey, yeah, we screwed up, and now we're going to fix it. We're going to make it right. And that's the best way to do it. It's the best. It's the most authentic way to address the situation. Somebody's going by. DFEM's going by just with the ambulance. Hope everybody's okay there. But, that's it. And if that's not the case, they'll say, hey, look, based on our understanding, this is what we did. We did everything that we thought we should do. We assessed the situation, realized we didn't have to fine anybody, so we didn't, and we didn't issue any citations. But in this regard, this is what happened with the vehicle. That's it. Now, are they super excited to have that conversation? Probably not. But they're supposed to. We as a community know that we need
a government to take care of the essential needs that we have in the community, right? And that's why we have a government, and the government does all this stuff. But they got to explain stuff to us too, right? So for this one, for real, this has to be, we want to get this, done. These people seemed like so nice too, these folks. So I want to find out what happened. And they do too. They're still trying to get to the bottom of it because it's not done for them. So it's one little thing that we can do, and we're enjoying doing it. And hopefully we're helping out. Again, it's not, we're not doing anything. We're not going to attack you or anything. We're just trying to find out, hey, what's the real deal? What actually happened here? What's going on? And how can we help sort this out? Because this seems like a pretty nice family. Had their weekend kind of blown up by this, and some tourists as well, and we can avoid having it happen again. That's it. All right, guys, I think that's it. We've been rolling around and doing this for a while. I can get you the one more update, by the way. Let's see, that was the 8 o'clock. The 9 o'clock should be ready by now. Let's take a look. And it is ready. The 9 o'clock update. Is there? Oh, you know what? Oh, there is something. Darn it, I can't believe it. I got it on here too. Today's the day, by the way. Let me pull it up. Is this the one? This is. And did I do it like this too? I think I did. Let's see. I made a special screen just for this. Here we go. All right, here's the big deal. Today is the day. Today there is a planning and development meeting for the Office of Planning and Development. It's the Planning and Development Advisory Council. And it's open to the public. It's going to be from 2:30 to 4:30 today. 2:30 to 4 p.m. today at the governor's conference room. They're also going to have a Microsoft Teams link. They're going to do the basics that happens at the beginning, the preliminary matters. They're going to call everyone to order, do a roll call, adopt the agenda, and move on. But the big deal is they're going to draft a CNMI comprehensive, integrated, solid waste management plan. That's a big deal. That's a big deal for us because we have a solid waste facility up north in Marpy. It's called the landfill. And that sucker is going to fill up if we don't get this thing squared away. And it's going to fill up fast. But on top of that, they're looking at getting great compliant facilities for Tinian and for Rhoda. Yes, RCRA compliance is important. So they're going to talk about the priorities, the big revisions that they got and where they're going forward after that. And if you want to hear more about it, you can go there and be a part of it. They also have the PDAC member updates. That's the Planning and Development Advisory Council member updates. And then they're going to schedule the next one. So they're going to knock this out. I mean, you might not think it's a big deal, but that's just because you don't know enough about how important it is. Everybody knows the importance of land and how limited of a resource it is for us. But the amount of place that we have to put our waste is limited as well. We're just sticking everything up in Marpy. They do a better job than just sticking everything up in Marpy and just pushing it up there. But there's going to be a time when that space runs out. And I'll tell you, it filled up pretty quick because of back-to-back typhoons in 2015 and 2018. And the amount of waste that had to go up there for it, plus all the other development, there's a lot of stuff up there, and there's not a lot of space to put it. And it's a finite resource. We have a limited amount of space to put it, especially if we want to do it the right way. It's not just digging a hole or piling it up. They want to make sure that stuff is lined so that, think about everything that's in your trash. Well, imagine everybody else throwing everything that they got out in the trash. They put it somewhere. They got to line it to make sure all that stuff doesn't seep into our water table. You name it. They got to do it, and they got to do it the right way. If you want to be a part of it and you want to learn about it, you can go to the Office of Planning and Development's meeting today. Planning and Development Advisory Council, 2:30 to 4 o'clock at the Governor's Conference Room. You can also do it on the Microsoft Teams, but I don't have that link. But you can reach out to the Office of Planning and Development to see if you can't get it in there as well. You want to give them a call at 233-2673 or 670-488-1221. You can also visit their website at www.opd.gov.mp. You want to visit them? All right, cool. They're up there at Guguan Drive, 1324 Guguan Drive on Capitol Hill here in Saipan. So there you go. Stuff happening in our community. You can be a part of it. Tobot said he's doing a fundraising to get his Camel beer. I like it. Now, is there a beer called Camel that you like, or you have a camel that likes drinking beer? I don't know. I think they both sound good. All right, that's what we got for you today, folks. So we will send you off with the update from the Associated Press. I want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much for your phone calls. That was great. I love it. This show is for you. This show is for you. The NMI News Service, it's for you. When there's something happening in our community, let us know so we can cover it. If there's something great you want to talk about, you can give us a call and talk about it. That's what we're here for. This is all for you. I get to do it, so hooray for me. But like, this is ours. This is yours. This is what we do. It's not just the Brad show, right? So NMI News Service, we post all this stuff all day when news is happening. We're there. We try to get it to you right and get it to you first. That's what we can promise you. Thanks so much for supporting us and being a part of this. You guys have a great day. Here is the latest headline from the Associated Press. We go with them because they set the standard. So here you go. Associated Press.
Catholic cardinals have set May 7th as the date for the conclave to elect a successor to Pope Francis. Nicole Winfield reports from the Vatican.
They will be meeting in secret in the Sistine Chapel and begin voting for a successor to Pope Francis. They're spending the next few days talking informally about the needs of the church going forward, the types of a pope who can do what is needed to bring the church forward in this time of war and conflict and social upheaval.
A former career Justice Department prosecutor is challenging his firing by the White House, saying his removal for what he calls unprecedented partisan and political reasons undermines a bedrock principle of the justice system. Meantime, Ed Donahue reports the prosecutor who supervised the legal team that went after January 6 suspects is warning
pardons of rioters could encourage future political violence. Michael Romano worked at the Justice Department for 17 years. He resigned a few weeks ago.
I knew on January 20th, when the pardons were announced, that I needed to find my way out.
President Trump's pardons led to the release of leaders of the far-right extremist groups convicted of orchestrating violent plots to stop the peaceful transfer of power, as well as rioters convicted of brutal attacks on police.
They proudly committed crimes, and they, in many cases, filmed themselves proudly committing crimes. It was an incredibly violent day.
Romano tells the AP it could happen again.
If you support the president, and if you commit violence in support of the president, that he might insulate you from the consequences of that. He might protect you from the criminal justice system.
The president has said the sentences were ridiculous and excessive. Ed Donahue, Washington.
A 5-year-old girl and her parents were among 11 killed in Vancouver over the weekend when a car plowed through a crowd during a Filipino heritage festival. Murder charges have been filed against a suspect who has a history of mental illness. This is AP News. The Washington football team's returning to the nation's capital. Lisa Dwyer has details.
Welcome to D.C.
And with that, the mayor of Washington, D.C., Muriel Bowser, announced the return of the Commanders football team
back to RFK, where they belong.
Bowser also thanked the team's current owner, Josh Harris.
Thank you for not just buying our team, some would say saving our team, getting the team to the NFC Championship for the first time in 33 years.
The stadium will open in 2030 and cost the Commanders $2.7 billion, with the city investing $1.1 billion for the stadium, housing, green space, and a sportsplex. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
And I'm Ben Thomas, AP News. Thanks for listening.
Good morning, Marianas. So many things we gotta discuss. Happy day, Tirawami and greetings. To Rhoda, Guam, Saipan, and Tinian. For all your island news. From a beautiful place with Pacific views. It's always so much fun on Good Morning, Marianas.
Got Medicaid?
Paradise Dental's got you covered. We've got you covered from the moment you walk in the door with some of Saipan's best smiles. Medicaid covers your fillings, your extractions, and your checkups with no out-of-pocket expense. And Medicaid covers all of your x-rays without any additional cost to you. So remember, if you've got Medicaid, you're covered. Don't wait for a toothache. Call Paradise Dental today. Come here often.
Hi, I'm Shauna Brenfleck, nurse practitioner and owner of Island Skin Solutions and Wellness Clinic. We are Saipan's only medical spa offering a wide range of services to meet your unique skincare goals. We offer exclusive medical grade skincare products that can only be purchased from a licensed medical professional. We also have the CNMI's only master esthetician who offers new patient consultations that include a mini facial tailored to your needs. Schedule your consultation today to get started on your skincare journey.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.